Hey, Emily with Get Offset here, and I'm going to talk to you about the BOSS RC-10R. And this time I'm doing this a little bit differently. I'm talking in this demo so I can show you the ropes of how it works. So this is rhythm on one side, and there's the level for the rhythm, switch for the loop, level for the loop, and yada yada. So you have presets here, I believe 99. You can kind of go through them. You'll see that there is a generic funk. That's the first one that you always start with, regardless. And then through the others, I have some saved rhythm tracks there. So the first thing we're going to do is we're going to push down on this button. It's going to show us that we can change the tempo right off the bat, but let's go and look at some of the other parent settings, the main folders that we have here. So there are loops under all these folders. You select the kind of version typey thing that you want, and then you're going to press down again, and you're going to sort through all of the different areas in each main folder. From there, you can change the tempo. You can't change the time signature. 4/4 is what most of them are in. So let's find one and play it and see what it sounds like. You can then move it along and it'll automatically go through the different one. Yeah, I think I like that. So we hit it twice to stop it. Cool, cool. That's pretty standard. All right. So next, that's the loop and that's the rhythm. Different foot switches, of course. You click the loop, and you hear you got an intro there, which is pretty cool. Twice, hit it twice to stop it, and it gives you a little outro as well. So let me get my sound here. Yeah, cool. Nice. A little reverse reverb there. So what you'll notice I did there is I held down the rhythm switch for 2 beats to get into the other part. So there are 2 separate drum sounds with each part. And for this, I'm obviously not using the looper. I am treating this like a drum machine at this point. So when it comes to loopers and drum machines, what I'm worse at is stopping. So clearly I was just using it as a drum machine there, wasn't doing any loops. I didn't explain this, so sorry about that. You hold down for 2 beats when you want to switch to a part 2. That's what takes the most practice in this looper, in my opinion. That and hitting twice to stop, which is just something I've never been good at. So, yeah, that's about all I have for if you're just using this as a drum machine. Keep watching for how to use it as a looper. Alright, and now I'm going to be looking at using this as a standard looper, only using one part to begin with. So I'm going to pick my sound for this. Maybe something a little more low-key. Let's try this. Yeah. That's fine. Let's change the tempo. Yes. Mellow it out. Yeah. Cool. So this is just like what we did before. It's a very short little outro, which I appreciate. And so you're going to hold down this to get it to sync. You hold that down for 2 beats while nothing is playing to get it to sync with the looper. Otherwise, it's a little wonky. Cool. So I like that guitar tone. I'm going to go ahead and hit the start. Alright, now I'm playing my loop. You'll see I hit start on the loop side, which meant there was no weird drum intro. Not to call it weird, it's not what I wanted here. Now I can play over my loop. Double tap to stop. So that was pretty easy. I just laid down a basic loop and did my guitar part over top of that. So that's, you know, how you would use any standard looper alongside a rhythm kit. But what's really cool is that when you hold down that switch for 2 seconds, it syncs up the looper and the rhythm track, so they actually stay in line. Okay, now I'm going to record a loop with 2 parts. It's very scary. I hope I don't mess up. Intro. Now I'm recording my part. That sounds great to me. Let me listen to it. Yep, that's a very smooth transition. I'm going to hit it again to do an overdub. Another tap stops the overdub. Yeah, I like how that sounds. I would probably be singing right now. But instead I'm just going to noodle. Now when I'm ready to go into the chorus, I'm going to hold down for 2 seconds. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, step and hold, start playing right away. That's very important. Otherwise, when you go through to play the part 2 again, there's going to be a big gap. Unlike with the intro, when you start it, there's no intro going into the chorus. Nor is there one coming out of it. It takes a lot of practice. All right. Again, 1, 2, 1, 2, 1, 2. There I go. And I'm going to double tap to stop. Now in the proper outro, if you want anything to be playing on your guitar during that, you're just going to have to play it. It's not really pulling anything from the loop. I mean, I don't really know why it would. So it doesn't. The hardest part to me of going into a part 2 on a loop is that you have to really count it very carefully. In the manual, it says you have to hold it for 2 seconds. I have not had any problems holding it for 2 beats instead, which makes it easier to count. And when you're going from the part 1 to the part 2, you hold down for the last 2 beats of whatever your part 1 is. You start playing that part 2 immediately. Otherwise, you're going to have a big gap when you go back to play that part 2, and then you're going to have to scroll through the menu a little bit to be able to delete that part 2 and start the whole thing over. And you really can't do it live. That's my big concern with this looper pedal, is that it's not super easy, I think, to do it live. But if you're prepping these loops by yourself in your bedroom, I think it's a really fantastic tool to be doing some things live. But selecting through different kits and different drum beats live on stage, unless you have a selector switch, and I believe that's an option, I don't think it's super duper easy. So I would at least have those rhythm parts saved on a loop. Other than that, I think it's a really cool looper. It has more functionality than most loopers I've seen, especially something this compact. But keep in mind, this is something that you need to practice. Like every other looper, you need to practice, especially transitioning between those parts. But I think it's a great product. I'm really, really happy to have it. It's powered most of our demo channel the past couple weeks. So big ups to Boss. This is a really cool product. Just understand you're going to have to do your homework with it. Thanks so much, and goodbye.